Hi, my name is Billy Hicks, and I'd like to thank you all for coming out today. Before I start, I'd like to ask a question. How many of you in the past few months have made an important decision by yourself, and after you thought, I wish I made a better decision? I know I have. Happens to me fairly frequently. I go back and think, why didn't I think of this? Or why didn't I generate more ideas where I know I could have had a better answer? And this is why I think that critical thinking in groups is better than individual for important matters. Critical thinking individually is a useful skill, especially in school and the workplace. But in groups, you'll have the best results. So today, I'm going to go through first what critical thinking is, second, why doing it in groups is better than individually, and third, recognizing that groups aren't perfect, they have some problems, but how to get past them. So to start, what is critical thinking? Critical thinking is essentially going through an analysis or evaluation process objectively in order to form a judgment on an issue. Common characteristics are rationality, self-awareness, honesty, open-mindedness, discipline, and judgment. When critical thinking by yourself, you need to have all of these and use them to the best of your abilities. But in a group, you don't necessarily need to possess all of them, because chances are someone else has what you're lacking, and when you come together, you can critically think better than ever. To kind of get an understanding of what these are, rationality is using reason over emotions. Self-awareness is knowing your biases and what your tendencies are. Then discipline is not making that snap decision, taking your time, and better understanding the problem. So, I'm going to go into the reasons why I think group is better than individual. And to start off, I think groups are better than individual because cognitive biases, which are limitations to our thinking, have less of an impact when you're thinking in a group. When thinking critically, you're supposed to get past these biases. Individually, it can be tough, and sometimes a bias slips through the crack without you even thinking of it. In a group, team members have a better chance of pointing it out so you can get past it as a whole. An example of this was when I was working back in high school in a grocery store. I have a tendency to be here now in the moment and not think of the future. When we're working the stores late at night and we had to get our work done before we could go home, I wanted to just stock the shelves quickly and get out. I was thinking, here and now, what do I want? I want to go home. But my group came over and we discussed, and they said, you tend to think like that. Why not set it up properly, take a little bit extra time, and make it easier for the rest of the week? And that's exactly what we did, and it worked out best for us. The second reason I think that critical thinking in groups is better than individual is that groups can generate more quality ideas and have a feedback loop to keep everyone in check. So, according to Kay Vindet on Earth.com, a study was conducted by the University of College of London, and this team wanted to get an understanding of knowledge. So they took 5,180 people and had questions ranging from the height of the Eiffel Tower to how many elevators are in the Empire State Building. So the first round, people did this individually. They had 20 seconds to think on their own and answer each question. The second time they did it, they were paired up into groups of 5. They had a minute to do it, so 40 seconds longer to discuss and then come up with an answer. The results were astonishing. There was a 49.2% drop in inaccurate answers. So just having people to talk to in an extra 40 seconds made a whole lot of difference, nearly 50%. So the third reason why I think that groups are better than individual is you have multiple people making a decision to reinforce the answer. So what I mean by this is before you start, you set up an idea, 2/3 vote or unanimous vote to put that decision into play. Thinking on your own, as soon as you make it, you put it out there. This is where you can challenge each other's ideas, get a better understanding, and finally have the best result possible going forward. Something that you can back up knowing, hey, me and a few other people think this, we think it because of this, and then you have faith in your answer. Lastly, I'd like to talk about why groups aren't perfect, but you can overcome issues. So the first issue that is bound to come up in a group is conflict. You need conflict resolution. This is working through problems, communicating with your team members, group members, and getting past that conflict so it doesn't impact your judgment. The second is groupthink. Groupthink happens when 1, 2, or 3 people have more power than the rest, and they come up with a decision, and people just say, hey, I don't want to be embarrassed, so I'm going to agree with you. This is not what critical thinking is about. In a group, you need to have your own ideas, bring them to the table. This way, the best ideas are being generated, and everyone's not just going with the flow. That's not what we want. At the end of the day, we want a judgment on an issue that we can feel comfortable backing up. So, after going through what critical thinking is, why it's better, which is getting past biases, having better ideas, and backing up decisions, I truly think that critical thinking in a group is much more beneficial than doing it on your own, especially for important decisions. So I'll leave you with this. Next time you're making an important decision, grab a group, grab a couple friends, coworkers, whoever. Bring them together, work through that as a group. It might just be the best individual decision you've made. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.